Hello. Hey, Tim Sanders is the author of one of my all-time favorite books, Love is a Killer App. And he also formerly served as the Chief Solutions Officer of Yahoo, the company that changed everything. And I'm thrilled to interview Tim today about his new book, Today We Are Rich. Tim, it is great to meet you.
Randy, it's great to be with you too, brother.
Thanks. So, the endearing fabric of Today We Are Rich, to me, is you're interweaving the wisdom of your grandmother, Billy, throughout. You say, Billy knew from experience the crucial link between confidence and achievement. Can you talk about that link just a moment?
Absolutely. You know, she was taught by her father, Tommy King, who learned this during the Great Depression, that when you have an outlook that you are going to thrive in a circumstance, your performance is at a higher level, because in that calm and that peace comes that sense of flow that allows you to focus on solutions and be encouraging to other people. But what she taught me that's the most important is that when you are confident in yourself and your team and in your relationship with God, you will give. Because when you're confident, you can share, because there's always more. And when you share, you're worth something. At the heart of all achievement is giving. And it's something I really didn't even know until I wrote this book, that at the end of the day, the only way to become a generous, giving person is to believe in yourself and to believe in your team and to believe in God's plan for you. And when you achieve that, everything takes care of itself.
Yeah, that's such a powerful statement. Yeah, I just really believe that. Okay, so in the book, you list 7 principles of total confidence that I found totally mesmerizing. The first principle is feed your mind good stuff. And you say something that I feel very strongly about in a positive way. What you're saying is that TV news inhibits positive thinking. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, sure. I mean, think about how a Twinkie's designed. It's not designed to make you healthy and strong. It's designed to be sugary and addictive. And that's exactly what most television news is. Asterisk, except Dave Ramsey. We love Dave Ramsey. But other than that, the cable news and broadcast news model is designed to glue the viewer to it, mostly with shock and horror. And to say things, as Ted Koppel used to say, it's a ladle dropper news item when mom drops the ladle in the soup to go see what's on the TV. You won't ever get inspired watching television. There's an old saying in Vegas that says the longer the better stays at the table, the better the odds get for the house. And what I've learned is that the more you expose yourself to network TV, the more you expose yourself to negative thinking and visceral emotions and the bad news of the world.
Yep. And I'm proud to say Dave Ramsey is a neighbor of mine here in Franklin. So
he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. He told me in the fall of 2008, he said, son, you show me a guy who's confident because he's on a roll, and I'll show you a really fast runner that's being chased by a tiger. Right? And his point was that confidence is the outcome of a lifestyle design. And that's what Billy raised me to believe. And that's really what these 7 principles are about.
I love that. And for those of you that think you may have unbelievable withdrawal by giving up network TV, or Tim provides some incredible good stuff that you can, magazines and books, and so I really am grateful for that. It was an invaluable list to me, so thanks for that, Tim.
Well, thank you. You know, and the final idea here is that, you know, you've got to be as judicious about what you put into your mind as what you put into your mouth, because it controls your outlook and it controls everything.
Yeah, that's so true. Okay, well, the second principle is move the conversation forward. And you say, I quote, be a builder of ideas, not a destroyer of dreams. And then you have some very pointed words that I could have used during my career about those who would play the devil's advocate. Can you talk about that a minute?
Well, you know, it's always people that are not creative that say, let me play devil's advocate. And I'm not talking about like you pitched the banker on a startup or you've gone to your boss and asked for an expansion. I'm talking about you and I are talking at work. And I'm like, Randy, I've got this idea for a new product, and you don't have an idea. So what do you say? Well, let me play devil's advocate. And you throw out some random objection that I've already thought of in the very beginning. And the point is, you kill the conversation. Because now I'm all on the defensive. We're not riffing anymore in comedy and improv, and you're a performer, you know this. That kills the joke.
Yes.
We live in a culture where we think it adds value to play devil's advocate. What most people don't know is that devil's advocate as a device was invented by the Catholic Church centuries ago to prevent the church from canonizing someone who was actually bad. So they would make an attorney go on a research binge to build a case against a saint. They called that devil's advocate. The attorney only had to do it once because it was bad for his career. Fast forward 500 years, and here we are saying, can I play devil's advocate? Collaborate with people. If you're not writing the check, build on the idea and move things forward towards solutions instead of getting grounded and stuck with some logistical checklist.
Ah, fascinating. That was fascinating history to me. So then, principle 3 is exercise your gratitude muscle. And I love this too. You suggest recruiting a workout partner to practice the exercise of helping each other notice what each of you should appreciate. So how should we go about that?
Well, gratitude is a muscle. It's not a feeling. If it's a feeling, you feel it all the time, but you don't. So it's a spiritual muscle. And the more that you practice gratitude, both in the detection and the expression, the better you get at it, the less you feel you're alone, and the more confidence you have. But sometimes by yourself, it's just hard to notice everything. So, much like working out, get a partner. My wife's a great one for me. You know, if I get stuck, she can point out a few people that have really done a yeoman's job to help me get where I wanted to get. And she can also point out that the reason they do it is because they want me to succeed. And it really reinforces the process. And the other thing you can do with your partner is also advance gratitude. You know, that's something that Andrew Carnegie used to do back in the 20s and 30s with his shop foreman. He'd walk into work and thank them for all they would accomplish that day. And lo and behold, he found that when you give somebody some advance credit, they respond by developing a little interest in what you need. So it's really important to your first waking moments or with your partner, begin every day with gratitude because it sets you in a positive motion. And folks, when you express gratitude, you are painting yourself into a positive corner.
Yes, and you have to read the book because Tim provides this incredible exercise. I'm not going to give it away, but you buy the book and you're going to find it. It's a fascinating thing. I'm going to do that, Tim. I'm going to try
You do that the first 5 minutes of your day. Consider that breakfast for your soul, Randy.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Okay, in principle 4, giving to be rich, you talk about your great-grandfather, is that right? Tommy
That's
King,
right, Tommy King.
and giving to empower others. And Tommy lost his cash reserves through a bank fiasco, but in the process he realized the value of giving the invisible, wisdom, connections, and reputation. So how can we give to empower others?
Well, you know, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to build up a knowledge base, really organize your network so you can employ it and give it away, and then look for those magic opportunities in life when someone needs what you've got. So for Tommy, you know, in the 30s, he was rich, and he had a lot of money because he did circular farming. This is Dust Bowl time. He's the only guy that actually had wheat fields. Billy, my grandmother's the only person in town that actually had a car. So he was used to handing out money to farmers or cattle ranchers down on their luck. And in the 40s, when he didn't have money, he was still addicted to giving. That was his rocket fuel. That was where he found meaning. So he learned, okay, well, I don't have money, but I got advice. And he learned how to be very smart at finding people that needed advice, needed to be networked, needed to be introduced, and he spent his time doing it. And one story I recall is that he spent the entire afternoon with this young guy when he was older, showing him how to build a real estate business, pulled his ledgers out, spent the whole day with him, never even got the kid's name. And so late that afternoon when he was sitting having a root beer with his buddy at the Rexall drugstore, his buddy's like, you don't even know this kid's name. He's never even going to come back and thank you. Tommy King says, I help that kid for the same reason the dog sleeps all day. Because I can, and because I like it. And what Tommy realized is that when you give money, you enslave people because they can't always pay you back. But when you give those intangibles, knowledge and network, anybody can at least pay it forward. And he learned it's a lot better to lift somebody up than to own them. And that's a huge takeaway from that chapter.
Wow, that is a huge takeaway. Powerful. Okay, great. So then, principle 5 is prepare yourself.
That's your favorite one.
It is my favorite one. It's my favorite chapter. That's worth the price of admission, just that alone. And you provide a wealth of knowledge in this chapter. Why do you talk about, I love this, why do you talk about reading deeply as opposed to merely grazing a book?
So when you dive into a business book or a career book or whatever, if you're reading to improve your vision of the future or your ability to perform, it's not easy. An article takes a few minutes. A book takes several hours, sometimes several weeks, especially if it's a little wonky. I believe that readers that invest in reading books to advance themselves are much better leaders, and the research really supports me on this. Some of the greatest business people I've ever known and worked with, like Mark Cuban or Michael Dell, those fools read a book every single week, cover to cover, that future-proofs them. That's what Cuban calls it. Because Cuban's like, everything you need to know about the future of your business is in the library, but your competitors won't take the time to go read it, so you should. And so every day, after my morning exercise, the next half hour, I invest in reading books that make me better at what I do or help me serve better. And that's a really big investment that pays off because it makes you much more prepared to deal with change. You anticipate and you look forward to change when you do that.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Future-proof.
That's right.
Yeah.
Readers are future-proof, man.
Nice. Okay, last, you touched on something that's near and dear to my heart, something you call mentorizing. You quote a mentor of yours, Mr. Stanley Marcus, who told you, "You'll never get dumber by making someone else smarter." Ah, that's great. What is the importance of mentorizing?
You know what? If John Maxwell ever hears that, that's going to be a new bit for him, you know? It's just so abundance, right? You know,
Yes.
because Marcus just can't believe that certain people withhold information, like no one, you know, like it's money. And so he said, you know, if you mentorize correctly, you actually grow from the mentorization process. So it's real simple. You detect someone who's in a transition point, whether it's good to great or crisis to solution, where your knowledge can make a real difference. You show them the ropes. You help improve their perspective, and if you're really lucky, you give them better empathy for their own situation and circumstance. Then you open yourself up to help them return the favor. That's a real big takeaway. So Marcus used to mentor me back during .com, like 99. And so we'd have these lunches, and for the first 45 minutes of lunch, he'd explain to me what I needed to know. Management, leadership, customer service based on 40 years of his career, something I was green on, but he saw that I was going to need to learn that quickly because I was moving up quick, right?
Right.
But the last few minutes of the lunch, he'd smile and he'd say, "Son, what should I be learning from you today?" And I do my best to talk to him about e-commerce, where I thought the internet was going, direct email marketing. And he employed that knowledge and he dispersed it inside the ranks of Neiman Marcus. And they did a lot of great things in 2000 and 2001 that their competitors didn't even know about. And it just proved that in the mentorization process, if you open yourself up to receive, you'll receive feedback that'll make you infinitely more intelligent over the course of time, which proves the other secret. Not the law of attraction. That's important. It's necessary but not sufficient. The other secret is the law of reciprocity. We were designed as humans to give back and to pay it forward. And 9 times out of 10, we do. And that one time, Randy, when people take the money and run, our ego says it's happening all the time, but it doesn't.
Right.
Because we were designed to be good-hearted people that give back, and that's what Mr. Marcus taught me, and it's led to most of my work.
That's great. Okay, so readers of my blog, if you know me at all, then you know why I'm so excited about this. And I thank you so much, Tim, for taking time to be with us today. This book is filled with life-changing wisdom, and I would encourage all my readers to buy this book. You can buy it today. You can buy it anywhere fine books are sold. And then, Tim, could you also tell us about the free ebook, right? The ebook offer?
That's right. If you go to twar.com, you can download a 30-page ebook. I tell you what, Randy, your readers, they can email me, tim@timsanders.com. I'll reply to your email with the free ebook. How's that for a deal? The prequel to Love is the Killer app, Today We Are Rich. Just so blessed to be on your program.
Thank you so much, Tim. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, Randy. Thank you.